Hello guys, I'm going to be showing you a push workout example. All the exercises I do from start to finish, the moment I set up to the moment I finish the exercise, all in one succinct 18-minute video. Firstly, I've got here a shoulder press machine. This is a plates loaded example. Notice that I'm changing the position on the seat appropriately for where my body is, the height of me, sort of thing. So what I'm doing here is I'm putting my glutes, my bum, further forward from the seat. That allows you to push through my legs into my upper back whilst doing the shoulder press. The reason I do this is because I do not want to load my spine excessively. I'll also recruit more upper chest muscle fibers because of this. So it's just a little nuanced thing that I like to do. It's not a strict shoulder press by any means. It's not the way I'd recommend people do it. But for me, my individual use, it's perfect for what I'm trying to do. You notice that my cadence is controlled, focused, and there's not a rush at the bottom. There's no springing off, bouncing in any of these clips you'll see. Apologise for the angle, guys, but that's the best I can do in a gym which is always busy at 8 o'clock in the morning. So the idea is not to get anyone else in the picture, apparently. So that's what I've tried to do. So you want to notice here as well, I've actually lightened my weights that I'm using. Typically using about 1.5, 2 plates extra aside. But what I'm doing here is with my aggravated shoulder at the moment, currently. I'm using a lighter weight, applying more time under tension, and still doing a safe movement. Using slightly less range of motion than what I'd usually be using. Especially at the bottom, my shoulder joint is a bit more compromised, at a higher risk if it's currently not in the best place. This is a way that you can still train whilst having some issues. Now, this won't apply to everyone. Do consult your physician prior to any exercise program. Another thing as well is the neutral position in my grip. My thumb's facing towards my face. That allows me to have a lot more even distribution across my front deltoid, minimizing the tension through my shoulder joint and causing further impingement. It does work very well for the front delt, I must admit. I'm holding it there, I'm trying to get the last bit out. That last bit there's all triceps, I'm pretty sure, but felt like it anyway. I'm trying to hold it right there. There we go. I couldn't do any more, obviously, without sort of swinging up. So that's good as done. That's failure. Right, next example. Let's use my chewing gum. That is a distraction I use to make me think less about the pain that I'm always in all the time, and lets me focus a little bit. So it has a role here. This is a pec deck machine. Not my favourite one. Not my favourite one at all, but it works. It trains the chest. This is almost like a pre-exhaust technique that I'm using here to reduce the weight I have to use later on. You'll notice the theme here. There's an exact reason why these exercises are in these particular order. It's not by chance. For me, in this situation, it's the best case scenario, of course. So, also want to mention is that my hands, when I'm sort of holding onto this machine, I'm not squeezing the handles. I'm letting the tension go through my chest, so I'm just using them there to guide, just to hold onto basically. There's no sort of deliberate squeezing the handles, it's all chest. So the cadence is, of course, slow, controlled. My feet are glued to the ground. Seldom will you ever see me kicking my feet and making them doing dance moves. I keep them as still as I possibly can. You don't want to be doing other things with your feet when you're training. It's a push workout, guys, not a leg workout. So I had to use a bit of inertia there. Nonetheless, it enabled me to get safely to another point in the movement. I can hold it. I don't think I'm going to get the wrap in my... I got a static contraction there, a slight eccentric. Perfect. Next, we've got what I'm going to call a Y cable raise, a lying Y cable raise. Also kind of a crucifix raise, but very slightly different in some ways. This will target the medial deltoid head. It also does some other stuff as well, but that's what I'm going for. So I'm using a handle. Now you can use wrist straps and things like that attached to the cable apparatus, but for this example I've just used these. It's not particularly lightweight. My shoulder is still sore, so I'm not going to be too focused lifting the heaviest weight possible. Notice the control. You'll also notice actually when it is seemingly straight in terms of my arm in relation to the cable, there's still a lot of tension go through my shoulder. So I'm not actually just letting it go. It's not a point of movement where I'm just leaving it to chance to not have tension in my shoulder. There is tension throughout my shoulder in the entire movement. Notice the concentric phase particularly is getting much slower now because I'm fatiguing the muscles. There's more burn, more lactic acid, which just makes it hard to lift weights. It makes you sore, but it does add as a energy substrate to really kick in at the last minute when you need that last little push. Static contraction. You can see I'm shaking there, so there's not really much more I can do. But that's all using inertia. Anyway, next. Got a seated chest press. This machine's weird, guys. Honestly, it's so weird. The handles are in the completely wrong place. Ideally, you need a handle bang in the middle between those two handles right there. But nonetheless, we persist. We move on. You notice as well, when I set up in these movements, I do spend a very long time setting up. Reason being, most people don't. Most people get injured. I don't get injured. The reason for my right shoulder being irritated was that I was sleeping on it incorrectly for a long period of time. That is why my shoulder was sore. Nothing to do with my workout. And just as well, I'm trying to drive inwards towards my thumb, if that makes any sense. And I squeeze my hands together as if I'm doing a clap. It is again, especially with like chest movements, risky movements where people get pec tears sometimes. I'm very slow in the stretched position. It does take a long time to get from halfway down to all the way down. Quite a few seconds there. My boobs look weird in this angle, I tell you. It's here the concentric phase is slightly slowed down slightly now. This is where I know I'm sort of in that. This is the zone where people usually quit. Most people quit in this sort of area of the lift. I might estimate that at 3 reps in reserve, something like that. I was actually chewing quite hard there on the gum to get that extra strength out. But it did work. I got a rep, so I don't think I've got much left here. Maybe a half rep and a static, perhaps. You can see there's no more gas in the tank. There's nothing left to recruit there. Next exercise. Can't do much shoulder pressing specifically, so I'm using a secondary exercise, which I'd call a upright cable row. Positioning from the cable is very important in this exercise. Far enough that you can raise it above to about your nipple line without actually having to, swing it up. But also you're not letting the weight lower, where you're holding, to a point where you lose tension in the shoulder. So again, I'm emphasizing tension here. You'll see none of these lifts am I letting the tension go. I could get, 20%, maybe 30% more reps if I did that every single rep. Yeah. But we're talking about tension here, guys. Muscle recruitment. Your muscles don't know rest. They know hard work. So I'm getting some pretty much quarter reps out now, probably. Next to nothing, but there we go. There was a static. Elbows not moving, the cable shaking. You see, I nearly thought about leaning back then to get it up. I thought, nope, I'm going to be strict. That's it. Notice when I put the weight down as well, I didn't rush it to go down. I didn't drop it. I lowered it. Next we've got an incline, neutral grip, chest press. plate loaded. Quite comfy in the shoulder, not too bad. You'll get the scapula backwards, if that makes sense, rotated backwards before you start this lift. Let the chest engage. You can take the shoulders out of it if you can, as much as possible. I'm doing this one, which you won't be able to tell in the angle at all, but I'm actually pushing my hands inwards, like I mentioned in the previous video. So the tension is going into my chest. Saying that, you'll also get some tension going through perhaps your wrist and your biceps, but that helps you to elevate your performance to the next level. Lets you become stronger, actually activate more chest muscle fibers. Remember guys, this is bodybuilding. It's not about getting things from A to B. It's about making your muscle work really, really hard. Remember to breathe as well. You'll see probably this one I'm breathing quite a lot. Quite gas by this point in the workout. Static, and that's it. My strength goes very quickly in terms of strength endurance in chest exercises. It's my own criticism, my own performance. Next we've got this is a cable crucifix raise. I'm doing this one standard. Can do it seated, but it involves bringing a heavy bench across the gym, which is a real pain in the ass, so I don't like doing it that much. The standing works fine. It's not heavy weight, so it's not going to impact my spine at all. Now, bear in mind, the cable apparatus, what I'm holding onto, is quite far in front of my body when I'm actually lowering it. Probably estimate maybe, I don't know, half a meter. So when you're bringing it upwards as well, you're trying to contract the medial delt. It's not a rear delt exercise, it's not a front delt exercise, it's a medial delt. So if you can try and match the angle with the shape and position of your shoulder, that's the best case scenario. Of course, as well, I'm not letting the two balls there touch at the bottom if I can help it. Going to static, holding it, I'm shaking everywhere. It really hurts at this point, honestly, guys. I remember this like yesterday. Hold it static quite a while. I'm quite strong in this position, I guess. Next, the machine chest fly. I actually put my hands above the handles in this exercise because the handles are in the wrong position on the machine. Yes, machines do get it wrong very, 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 very often. For my maximal upper chest recruitment, I'm going to need to put my hands on the handles, again, higher. Will it be the same for you? I'm a very tall gentleman, I'm 6'1". For me, it works much better. I feel it much better, and I get much more soreness from the workout itself. So it gives me two ideas that it's working the upper chest muscle fibers more. It's not exclusively a upper chest movement by any means, no. But that's something I'm very focused on. So if I can find a way to maximize that intention, then of course I'll implement the activity and exercise to suit. So again, the weights are not touching the stack in any of my movements, none of them. Your weight should not touch the stack unless you're doing some sort of dead stop exercise, but then I think, is it really bodybuilding or are you powerlifting? Yeah, it's a different activity at that point. So you can bend my arms here and probably get it out, but try to be strict here, all chest. Next, this is a tricep assisted dip machine. Quite a strange exercise, I must admit, when people see me doing it, but one thing I may have mentioned when I'm doing this is that my elbows are actually a bit less than 90 degrees in the short-term position. So it looks like my arms aren't as bent as they are, but they're very, very bent. They're basically touching my lower nipple when I get the lowered phase completed. Works the outer head of the tricep very well. Also the long head and all the other stuff around it. So it works really, really well here, guys. The intention here is to reduce the chest and shoulder involvement, but that will not always happen. You know, you're pushing down on something, your chest wants to come into play. So I try and eliminate that extra muscular activity by certain things such as keeping your shoulder blades back, which is very tricky to do, but it takes a lot of skill. So not something I really implement into many people's training plans because it's a skill. So I need to know someone's advanced enough to do it. Static there. Your fatigue goes very quickly in this one. I had it about 2 millimeters off the stack there, you probably could tell. This is, I think, one of the last exercises. This is an overhead cable tricep extension. I don't like to use the rope because the rope hurts my hands and wrists. I like to use this, which is like some kind of, I don't know, rope-like thing. Like a seatbelt looking thing. You put your hands in it. It doesn't tear away your palms either, so it's quite comfortable. Now, behind me is, you might notice there's a pad. I like to stick my bum against that. And in front of me, there's a slight ramp, so my toes are on the ramp. That keeps me in place as well. So that's very spine safe for me. Very, very safe exercise for me to do, which looks seemingly like it's not, but it actually is. Getting my elbows and keeping them still. Fully stretched tricep. Fully straightened arm if I can. It's another one of those exercises, you know, shoulders and chest can come into it if you let them. Tricky to not let that happen, but that's the goal. But anyway, there's about half rep, partial. Can't quite feel it. No. Never mind. Anyway, I thought, you know what, sod it. I'm going to tag on some rear delts into this. Why not? We all need more rear delts. This one, use the same actual handles as last time. And what I've actually done here is a little trick. No one else online will talk about this because I don't do it. So basically I'm tucking my hips forward, extending I'm flexing my abs, letting my back actually deliberately arch whilst tensing my abs. So caveat there, tensing my abs. Make sure there's stability there still. My shoulder blades are rolled forward, and that allows me to activate my rear delts more. Takes the mid back out of it to some degree. Little top tip there, guys. A lot of people have issues activating their rear delts. This sort of exercise is something that can really go for a long period of time because you can't lift a lot of weight, guys, when you've got metal through your spine in this sort of movement. Pulling movements, you really can't. So I have to use a different measurement, a different way to get intensity sets, time tension, and a few more reps. So not necessarily a problem, just means the weight that I'll be able to use over time won't be as great as other people. Nonetheless, we persist, as I always say, and we can still get stronger, still get better. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up now. Hopefully that's useful to you guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Leave a like and also subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you.